Hey guys, information about version 3.0 dropped today, but we have to get two things out of the way before we dive into it. First of all, you might be like, hey, wait a minute, where is version 2.9? And rightfully so. It is not clearly communicated with us if we will just skip a version or if the Assassin's Creed collaboration might have something to do with that. So all that matters and all that you have to know is that this version 3.0 will be the version that drops after the second anniversary, so after version 2.8. The other thing we have to get out of the way is that I will first of all read all the information off to you, and after I did that, we will go back and talk about each individual point more in depth, and I will give you my thoughts. So yeah, let's start off with point number 1 right now. And here we have it. Starting from version 3.0, a brand new stories expansion system called the Frontline Observation Room will be available. To help everyone more intuitively grasp the direction of the 3.0 main story series, two new features called Send Table Deconstruction and Traces of War will be implemented. These functions record key time points in the main storyline. You can manually adjust the timeline and view the corresponding content on the send table. Other events that occur concurrently with the main story will also be included. By reading through the detailed records, you will uncover even more information. While experiencing the story and activities as usual, you can also complete tasks in the observation room to earn extra generous material rewards. In version 3.0, players can obtain the Seedling Key, used to awaken a specific Druvis III euphoria. Tasks will update with each version, and the rewards will progressively increase. In the future, you will be able to obtain rare material packs as exclusive Psycubes, new wilderness decorations, and even a 6-star character garment. Unfinished tasks will still be completed later via the Left Behind Matters system. Moving on to point number 2, this will be a brand new login interface. With the launch of the 3.0 main storyline, a new login interface will be introduced, featuring rich dynamic effects to enhance the user's experience. We have also received your feedback about revisiting previous login screens. This feature is currently in development. Once it goes live, you will be able to freely choose from all previously implemented login interfaces. Point number 3. Reveries in the Rain will introduce a new myth manifest in version 3.0 called the New Age Proclaimer. At the same time, floor 410 meter to 450 meter of the depths of the myth will open for new challenges. Point number 4 is a crafting feature optimization. After the 3.0 update, when enhancing resonance, insight, euphoria or psycubes, if you lack required materials but possess sufficient lower tier items that can be crafted into them, the system will prompt you. You can then auto-craft the required items and proceed with the upgrade in one tap. And point number 5 is clarification on permanent recruit pools for version 2.6 and version 2.7 characters. Due to the adjustment of version numbers, characters like Recoleta and Aleph, originally planned to enter the permanent recruitment pool in version 2.9, will now do so in version 3.0. This still maintains the original timing, 2 versions after their debut, only with the version number being updated. The same applies to characters from version 2.7, such as Hisabeth, Nameday and Kiparina. Those were all the information we got so far. We will get additional information on June 19th, so in like a week and 6 days. Now let's go back and talk a little bit about each individual point, because there is some speculations to be made. Very, very interesting stuff here. So point number 1, first of all, if done right, it will be a huge quality of life feature because what this first point here means, this send table deconstruction and traces of war, what this could mean, again, if it's done correctly, means that you can just enjoy the story from like the key perspective without all of the filler. You can skip all of the filler and just enjoy like the key information. That is really, really good, because you have hours and hours and hours of just nonsensical filler in those stories. And yeah, for me, especially like as a content creator that tries to cover the story, it is a huge pain in the ass to cut all of this filler and sort the information out and so on and so forth. This new story expansion system could fix that if they do it correctly. But yeah, the more interesting part in all of this is this observation room feature that they talk about here, that lets us unlock not only a specific Druvis III euphoria, but they also talk about rewards that progressively increase, and we can obtain raw materials, psycubes, wilderness stuff, and even garments for 6-star characters. Okay, so we don't know what this exactly is, but looking at it, first of all, let's break this down a little bit, right? First of all, we can unlock a Druvis III euphoria. Okay. What could this mean? Why could this be good and why could this be bad? This could be good because it would mean that not only do we get +2 euphorias every single version as we do right now, but with the ripples on the water banner, right? But we can now, due to this new gameplay mode, unlock a 3rd euphoria per version, such as this Druvis III euphoria here. If that is what that means, then this is absolutely fantastic and exactly what we need, because we cannot get just 2 euphoria updates per version if we also introduce 2 new characters per version. That does not work, that is way too slow, and you will always have characters left in the dirt. Because yeah, it is a 2-for-2 trade, you know, you get the point. You will never be able to catch up with the euphorias if you keep doing it like you do it right now, with 2 new euphorias, 2 new characters. That doesn't work. So we need to speed up the process in which we get the euphoria updates, especially because if a character receives a euphoria update that is pretty bad, like Jessica did, like Shamani did, like Lilia did, you know, etc., etc., then the fact of introducing euphorias too slow with just 2 per version becomes even slower, you know, and that's why, again, we have to speed it up. And if this observation room means we unlock 3 instead of just 2 euphorias per version, it's an absolute blessing and exactly one thing that the game desperately needs. Cool. Now, this goes further because they put a lot of emphasis here on the rewards. They mention garments and psycubes and well, they mention so much stuff. Huge emphasis on the rewards. So what we could speculate here is that this is actually a new gameplay mode that is grindable, like what they tried with a series of tasks. Now, if I'm not completely mistaken, they said a series of tasks will no longer receive any updates, right? I remember reading this will be the last update that a series of tasks receives. So I think they will leave this gameplay mode, a series of tasks, behind, and now try to rework it kind of with this observation room gameplay mode. And if that is what it actually means and they get it right this time, oh my god, the game becomes much better than it currently is, because this would address two huge issues that the game has right now and fix them if they do it right, you know. But we also have to be real and like do a little bit of real talk, because what all of this could also mean is that we don't get 2 Euphoria's updates per version anymore, and all we get is this 1 Euphoria update from the observation room, like this do with the 3rd Euphoria right here. If that would be the case, that would be absolutely terrible and very bad for the game. Now if for this grinding mode with the rewards, we will have to see how much grind this will actually be, what the rewards will exactly look like. I can give you an example. If they talk about a 6-star character garment here, then we don't know what that means. That could be a character that no one uses and that is completely garbage, like Lilia or Shamani, for example, right now. You know, no one plays these characters. And if this 6-star garment would be for these characters, I mean, yeah, come on. And we also face this quote-unquote issue with a series of tasks, as they put a pretty cool garment for Mrs. Bubble in there. And yes, while Mrs. Bubble is a pretty viable, pretty good character, not everyone has her, not everyone uses her, so for a lot of players this reward, this garment is completely useless and will never be ever used, you know? So in order to do this correctly, you have to give us a selection of characters and not just give us, and not just be like, hey, take this garment for this character or go cry, you know? Give us a selection of like 3, 4, 5 characters, and we can choose a garment for a character that we actually like and or use. But the most important part is, of course, that you get the grinding part of this mode correct. Because again, the number one most important thing that this game needs is a grindable gameplay mode, so we have something to play the game if we face these content droughts that we constantly face, you know? I talked about this in very much detail in one of my previous videos, in the video that I lately covered this series of Dusk mode. So yeah, we can, I think I said enough about all of this stuff, and now we can move on to point number 2. And yeah, for this one here, there is really nothing to say about it. Yeah, the game will become more beautiful and more customizable to your liking, right? There's nothing bad about this. To be honest, for my personal opinion on this is, I think they're wasting their time. This is unnecessarily. Like, the game has a few other issues, like we just talked about, you know, that needs to be addressed. And yeah, if they do that, like they addressed it with point number 1, kind of, right? The 2 biggest issues were addressed with point number 1. So, but yeah, I mean, making the game more customizable and more beautiful, can't complain about that. Although, to be honest, I think it's a little bit of a waste of time. But there will be people that love this, right? And yeah, it's fine. It's just my personal opinion. Then, yeah, as well, absolutely needed is, let us dive deeper in Reveries in the Rain, because with version 2.8, with this anniversary, this will give us characters so broken and such good teams that it will trivialize the content. So giving us new challenges with new meta dives are exactly what we need. So very good here. Then this crafting feature optimization, yeah, I mean, if you upgrade your resonance or your insight or stuff, then you have to do like 1, 2, maybe 3 clicks less, you know? Alright, cool. I mean, whatever. Then clarification on permanent recruit pool. Yeah, okay. Characters join, okay. That's how it always is. And yeah, that was it. Guys, I hope that was fun and informative. If you like Reverse 1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate that. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.